Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Ji ayanu. Pakhairagale. Ni hao. Chunashumme. Washmale. Ohio gozaimasu. Guten Morgen. Hola. Bonjour. Privyet. Kaifa hal? Hale shuma chatore. Ahlan wa sahlan. Marhaba. Buna. Mucho. Gracias. Swabia. Bhalli kare aaye. Hosh geldin. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning alongside my very fantastic, amazing, superb colleague, Miss Maheen Jaffrey, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody out there is ready to kickstart their day with us. First things first. Hello, Maheen. How are you doing today?
Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad. How are you? I'm doing perfectly well. Had an amazing morning. As usual, I had a lovely cup of coffee, and while I was coming here, I was kind of observing the colors and, you know, all the way.
Which colors did you observe the most?
Well, I was just thinking, what could be the reason we use colors as symbols? Like, they have a whole psychology behind it. They have stories. Like, for example, red is used sometimes for alertness. Yellow or pink, I think it slows down your nerves. Do you know this? And the color blue, they say, if it suppresses hunger. So those of you who want to lose weight, you should eat in the blue plate. And talking about green color, Shahzad.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, so with blue, we can actually lose weight. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. You can Google it up as well.
Yeah, I will. and with green?
Yeah, with green, it's a color of hope and renewal.
Go. Yeah. No? On the traffic signals?
Yeah, go. Yes. And you can, that is why it is often used, and it is also giving us the symbolism of nature and regrowth and hope. That is why it is used in shelters. You see on the shops, especially in the summer season, we see these green color shelters.
Okay.
How was your morning?
Well, I think in addition to this is something which I'm going to share with our viewers, and that is that, colors, when we see them, they appear to us as colors, otherwise they're not colors.
Yeah,
Do you know that?
Yeah, this is
so
a
it's
scientific
totally
thing.
Dependent on the kind of frequency and the way the light's going to behave with it as well. For example, if we're going to talk about red, it comes around somewhere around 140 hertz or something of that sort as well. This is something which I read
true.
On a physics page as well. And ladies and gentlemen, it was very surprising for me. Because to us, green might be green or blue might be blue as well. But that's not how they appear originally. Well, I think, this is something which we might witness when we go to the heavens, and we hope and pray that everybody's making sure
Inshallah.
that they're going to work on themselves to kind of make their way towards heaven as well. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time that we kind of give you the top stories from all over the world and then move on with what we are talking about technically. But first things first, as I said before, this is the third time I've used the same term. The European Union President telephones Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif Sahab. Ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif said that Pakistan-European Union strategic engagement plan would help deepen bilateral engagement between the two sides, especially in the realms of trade, development and climate change. In a tweet, the Prime Minister's office said that Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif received a telephone call from the President of the European Council, Mr. Charles Michel. He also recalled Pakistan's long-standing and highly fruitful economic and trade cooperation with the EU, including through the application of GSP Plus facility, which had enabled Pakistan to enhance its trade with the European Union. Wow, I think that's wonderful. We certainly want to enhance trade.
Yeah, definitely. And yesterday as well, we were talking about a few of the polio cases that have emerged as Pakistan, alongside Afghanistan, have worked really hard to eradicate this. And keeping in view the reports of fresh polio cases in country, the government has launched nationwide immunization campaign on emergency basis. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif formally launched the anti-polio drive by administering drops to the children. Speaking on this occasion, the Prime Minister said that the challenge of polio still exists in the country. All provincial governments should pay full attention to anti-polio campaign, and Prime Minister said we need to work with renewed vigor to eradicate polio virus from the country.
And indeed we need to, ladies and gentlemen, because I think when we say that there are only 2 countries left on this planet with this menace, I think everybody needs to come together as a nation and get rid of this menace as well. Because totally, I mean, imagine for all of those parents who might still be kind of thinking that there might be something wrong with the polio vaccine. Imagine we all had it, there's no problem with us. So why do you think that God forbid something's going to happen to you as well? It's just a myth. Please make sure that you do not believe into or what people say who really haven't been to schools or universities themselves and have no idea about what's happening all over the world as well. Well, with that, since we have been making sure that we dedicate our energy and resources to tell you or make you aware about how the weather or climate conditions are going to be, Ladies and gentlemen, the Met Office has predicted that the present forecast of low rainfalls may create severe drought-like situations in many parts of the country till at least mid-June. The situation may negatively affect water resources, agriculture and livestock in the affected areas. Pakistan received less than normal rainfall from January to April, and the current intense heat wave may create severe drought-like situation in high temperature zones. Met Office noted that areas in Balochistan, including Chagi, Haran and Noshki, are currently experiencing severe drought-like situation, while mild drought is present in Sindh, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and South Punjab. Which place is left though?
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Well, this is very unfortunate. Moving on, we'd be talking about World Met Organization that has also issued a report, and it says that the world's oceans in 2021 grew to their warmest and most acidic levels on record, while melting ice sheets helped push sea levels to new heights. The World Met Organization report follows on the latest United Nations climate assessment, which warned that humanity must drastically cut its greenhouse gas emissions or face increasingly catastrophic changes to the world's climate. World Met Organization also listed individual extreme heat waves, wildfires, as we are seeing, Shehzad, all over the world, floods and other climate-linked disasters around the world.
Think everybody needs to kind of come together to kind of find a solution for that as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we really need to do it, because imagine what are we going to leave behind for our future generations as well. So everybody needs to kind of contribute towards this cause as well. Coming back to what we are talking about. So I'm not going to take a little longer because we're really short on time and we really need to kind of get maximum information and knowledge for all of those people who are out there. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are certainly going to talk about how climate change is having an impact. You know, there are a lot of islands which have been depleted, the greenhouse effect, the green gas effect as well, which actually kind of contributed towards the heat wave, where how we've shared that there's drought present in so many different areas of the country.
We've seen wildfires where we couldn't even imagine, like Siberia, you know, cyclones in Philippines, floods in Afghanistan. So this is happening globally, but it is affecting Pakistan the most.
Exactly, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Without any further ado, to talk about water scarcity and climate change, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody whom we refer to as an environmentalist. He happens to be Dr. Ejaz Ahmed Saab. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Ji, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm fine, thank you. Enjoying the hot weather.
Well, you know, you're probably the first person I came across who's actually enjoying the hot weather.
Yeah.
At times you do enjoy the hot weather.
Well, there is no other option actually.
But that weather certainly does not have to be somewhere around 47 degrees or 48 degrees centigrade as well.
Of course, yeah.
But so very quickly, where do you think Pakistan stands when we talk about climate change and water scarcity?
Well, generally, you know, we have been talking about this climate change since long, and Pakistan is not contributor. Global contribution is like
0.05 something.
85% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. But we are suffering. We are suffering tremendously, significantly. Every year we are facing some disaster, whether it's a drought, whether it's flood or whatever, tsunami, etc. And we are among top 10 countries for last more than 10 years, which are actually facing the issues related to climatic conditions.
True.
So globally, if we see where Pakistan is, so we are at the very dangerous position. We are not contributing, but we are suffering. So this also shows that it's a global phenomena. So something, I mean, like act locally is fine, but I think we need to look into the global scenario as well.
Exactly, we certainly need to do that as well. And sir, we will come back to this, and we certainly want to talk a little more about this as well. But ladies and gentlemen, since I myself happen to have lived in Karachi and I know how the condition was there, you know, because I've lived there for more than 5 and 6 years. I mean, it was unfortunate that we really didn't have tap water, and even if we did get tap water, that was through luck. And you know, so the condition was really very obnoxious as well. It was never in control. You were never in a good mood, because imagine you want to take a shower and there's no water. You know, I mean, water was a luxury in Karachi, and it still is. There's no supply water which you can get in Karachi. The situation has been really difficult as well. We're very lucky that we've actually been joined by another environmental journalist, and that too from Karachi. She happens to be Miss Afia Salam. Hello, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. I'm okay.
Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you today. We are talking about water scarcity and climate change and how Pakistan is being affected. And by 2025, some reports of UNDP and PCRW says that Pakistan will be water scarce. What's your take on this?
Well, the reports are correct as far as water scarcity is concerned, but the point is that we have to look at it with another lens. We have to look at it from the lens of the distribution, inequities, the water is there, it's not reaching the people, all the people, because of the way it is distributed. And that, I think, is the main problem that we have to deal with. Yes, of course, there is less water. The monsoons have shifted. The rains still haven't come. By this time, we have a little bit more water in our system. But then the glacial melt has started earlier than before. So we do have that water. So it's not something that you can give a straight answer to. There are so many shifting parameters to this whole question.
That's true, and thank you very much for highlighting that as well. But ma'am, let me ask you, do you think that Pakistan is water scarce, or do you think that the problem is that we're not good with water management?
Both. Because if I ask a question in answer to your question, do you think Pakistan has a handle on its population growth? So if the water is there's an X amount of water in the system, and there are more and more people who are claimants on it, then obviously the per capita availability goes down. And that is when we see, that everybody doesn't have water that is deemed to be enough. Some have a lot of water. There are people who still hose down their cars, who wash their driveways, and there are some who have to carry water in a drum after going miles looking for it. So there you have it. Those are the distribution inequities, the resource inequity. So we have to see where water is given, at what time it is given, and how much it is given. So there are some people who have no clue that there is any shortage of water, because for them there isn't any. You've got these rolling greens of lawns and golf courses and landscape parks.
And that's true,
yes,
and that's very, you being honest.
The water should not be going.
Exactly, but ma'am, I will actually come back to the same question, because as far as the reports and the research tells or the state, what they say is that Pakistan receives 143 million cubic meters of water every single year, but we are unable to store. We only store somewhat around 30,000 cubic million meters of water as well. So rather than referring to Pakistan as water scarce, I think we really need to kind of talk about water management and how we really need to kind of preserve and conserve it as well at the same time.
Water management, water governance, they all go hand in hand. Without proper governance, you cannot manage water properly. Managing water means giving water when it is due, when it is needed. Like for the crops, when it is needed, the water needs to be there. It isn't there. And for the people also, the water that needs to be made available, and who needs it, because the WHO, there's a limit. The baseline limit is there, that this much water is necessary for each human being per day. Now that water is not being made available to everybody. So again, I will bring it back. All these things are tied together. You cannot look at them as standalones. Water governance, water management, resource equity, they are all tied together. So we have to make do with whatever is available, and we have to see that it is justly given.
Yeah, true. Ma'am, you were talking about water management, especially, we talk about provision of clean drinking water and the groundwater specifically. We don't have much scientists like hydrogeologists in those fields, so that we can, predict the problems and how we can manage. And if suppose we have, then what are we actually doing as far as implementation is concerned?
Well, like I said, we do have scientists, we do have hydrologists, we do have water scientists who know about the quantity, the quality of water and everything. I mean, we've got some very good think tanks in the country, and we've got good resources. The point is that everybody works in silos. Does the government have access to them? Does the government engage with them? Does the government listen to those warnings that they sound out? So this is what we have to see. And also by the government, I mean all governments. Water is a provincial subject. So everybody has to sit down at the table at the same time and look at it in totality and work in collaboration.
True.
That is something very, very important. That is part of water governance.
And thank you very much for saying that. Thank you very much, Ms. Afia Salam, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So
Thank you.
coming back to Dr. Saab once again. So Dr. Saab, you've heard it. In totality, everybody needs to come together, sit together. But I'm going to pose the same question to you too as well. So I know that, where Ms. Afia Salam said that everybody needs to come together, we need to manage water resources as well, and the water needs to be there when it is required. Yeah. I think I'm going to agree to that as well. But are we water scarce, or the problem is of management?
The question remains
yes.
there. Yeah.
Well, I think we are in a sense that the availability of water as a population is one of the issues.
Urbanization at the same time.
Exactly. And but management is another issue, of course. And as you mentioned earlier, the storage capacity is not up to the mark. Whatever we need for our future planning, we don't have much water. Another important aspect is related to water management planning, water management and planning. The kind of crops which we grow are traditional crops, and there are many research studies which show that even you can grow rice in a drought condition, which requires minimum amount of water. So that link is, as mentioned earlier, the coordination and linkages are missing. So we are growing the same crops, which takes a lot of water.
Yep.
Then in areas where we need some water thirsty crops, where we have deficiency of water, we are using those crops which takes more water.
Rice,
so that planning is missing somewhere. That research is missing somewhere. So if we know that we need to grow cotton in certain areas, and we are actually growing sugarcane, which is more water intensive crop, so that is actually our fault. So water is there, but the planning to use that water is missing a lot.
But sir, Pakistan is experiencing two extremes. Now imagine, so just now today when we started the program, we shared this news that how different parts of South Punjab, how different parts of Sindh have drought. And every year we get to hear this story as well.
Alarming.
And imagine that a lot of livestock, a lot of people do kind of lose their lives just because of the fact that there wasn't enough water for them to use. That's one extreme. The other extreme is that, in just a month or 2 months, we will have flash floods.
Yes.
And we will still be unable to kind of save that water for ourselves and for our requirements. And number three, do you think that the idea of having dams is better or going for a recharge is better?
I think it has to be integrated approach where we should focus on, of course, we need dams, but not big dams. We need maybe small to medium dams which help in recharging water. And also storage, of course, for your rainy days or drought days. But I think we need to focus on water conservation as well. Water conservation is missing everywhere. I mean, I always give example that if we need 2 sips of water, we'll fill the glass, take 2 sips and then throw the rest of water, because there is no price tag as well. I think that is another issue. So the same water that we buy from some restaurant, and we
take the bottle
with us because we have actually paid. So I think there are many issues related to water: pricing, conservation, wastage of water, water management,
ground
recharge,
so
storage.
About the cost efficient methods that we were saying, dams, okay, they're going to take a lot of time and money. What about the hydrofins? Like we are blessed with this storage. So what do we do about that? And also another thing, why can't we use gravity canals for the situations like floods, or make such situations?
We don't have them.
Well,
we can make. This is what I'm asking. Why can't we do that?
There are options available, like you just mentioned about like having some canals, or even
which could be
like
used for navigation, water routes, and irrigation
and
as well.
that's something which happened in different countries. In Thailand,
in India
actually,
as well.
In India, in Germany. they converted these canals as a channel for communication.
A multi-purpose channel.
So you don't need repair every now and then. Actually, you know, like again, the coordination and integration is missing. I mean, like water is an issue where not only water expert, hydrologists, etc. are required, but there are many other players which are needed in order to come up with a comprehensive plan. Then another issue that we face, we always make wonderful plans. I think planning is the best.
Up to the mark.
But then there is a missing link with action. So we plan, but then we make another plan. So actions are always missing, and then there are many countries which followed what we planned, and they have gone to.
And sir, that's very right of you to kind of pinpoint that as well, because imagine that, you know, even as a nation, you know, amongst 5 friends, if we plan to go somewhere, you know, there's only one friend who's left on that day that, you know, okay, he probably wanted to go on a very serious note as well. But while we were talking about it, sir, there was this, I mean, it can be a very controversial question, but I think I really need to kind of be honest with my job as well. And imagine that, you know, so we've gone through, as Pakistanis, we've gone through the darkest times where there was no electricity. PMLN government, alhamdulillah, came in power, and they did definitely kind of found a solution around that and gave us that which we always wanted. Now, don't you think that, God forbid, if this water scarcity is going to go down to a level where people will eventually start to fight over it, don't you think that this problem will be politicized once again, and the vote casting will probably take place onto whoever is going to solve the problem of water scarcity?
The next campaign.
Yeah, I think this has already been politicized in a sense that when we talk about Kala Bagh, what happens?
True.
So that is one thing which I think is very important. We need to look beyond this politics and, you know, like my province.
Really give them a solution,
The solution, I mean, like the Kala Bagh is a good example in a sense that there are point of views from technical aspect, and then there are point of view from political aspect. And political points are normally take more weight. So unfortunately, this is everywhere this happens, that politics is not bad, but then I think when it comes to the decision making, it has to be a mixture of politics as well as technical aspect.
Exactly.
So if technically something is good and does not harm people from that area, I think we should just say yes to it instead of fighting for it and losing. Kala Bagh is a very good example. I'm not, you know, like in favor or in against it, but I think we need to look into the technical aspect of whatever we plan, whether it's a small dam, whether it's a medium dam, whether it's a water recharge, whether it's a canal. And ultimately, this environmental impact assessment is a tool that we can use, and it's a legal sort of like a tool which we
and we really need to take advantage of it as well. But sir, very quickly towards the end of this segment, there's one more thing which I wanted to ask, and that is that since you mentioned about Kala Bagh Dam, so we've been hearing about Kala Bagh Dam, we've been talking about the Amir Bhasha Dam as well, and there are other several dams which are being constructed. What is the status of all of these dams? You know, are they being constructed as of now? Are they operational?
Kala Bagh has not started, but then yes, of course, there are several studies which have been conducted about the feasibility, etc. But the other dams are in the process and they are being constructed, and of course, I mean, like these are huge structures and they take time. So hopefully, inshallah, there are the Amir Basha and there are a few other dams which are actually in the process, and most probably by 2030 we'll have some better solutions, green energy as well as water availability from these dams.
And don't you think that, you know, it's about time that we move on to renewable energy sources as well, because
of course
the burning of
we are already
fuels.
late. We are already late. I mean, like one of the major contribution in the global warming and climate change is due to this emissions.
Fuels, yes.
And in these emissions, 42% of the emission comes from the vehicular emissions. So just imagine if we, you know, like improve our vehicle transport system, public transport is available to everybody. So then the situation will actually,
which world over has actually moved on to electric cars as well. And now there's another problem emerging, and that is with those batteries which are being used in those cars as well. But certainly, you know, I think it will take time for to find a solution about that as well.
There are always solutions there, and even
but the
if
link is missing.
Yes.
Again, so we come down
But
to
thank
this
you very
point.
much, Dr. Saab, for being
Thank
with
you.
us. It was
Thank
lovely
you.
to be in conversation,
Thank
and
you
we
so much,
will
sir.
keep on calling you over and over again till the time
My
we find a
pleasure.
solution.
Inshallah.
And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're actually heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Stay
Because
tuned.
when we kind of talk about how things really we need to come together, sit down on the table, I think it definitely comes down to making sure that each and every member of the society kind of says, or even if he or she wills to contribute, they should really be able to contribute, which is why we will be talking about women empowerment and inclusivity as well. Because the nation cannot prosper, ladies and gentlemen, if only the men of the nation are going to speak about the issues they face. I think it's about the women as well. And each and every, may it be men, women, transgenders, anybody, everybody's got the right to do so as well. But we will be sharing an inspiring story with you guys. Please make sure that you don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Good morning.
Short break. Welcome back. Before going to the break, we were talking about something very important that's happening globally and across Pakistan as well. We were talking about how to deal with water and the scarcity of water. And then Shahzad very rightly pointed out that we don't have to think about gender, he or she, we all have to play our role. And then we shifted to a very important thing, that was women playing their role. And Shahzad, when we talk about empowerment of women in Pakistan, things have really changed, in the couple of decades. They're really breaking the barriers and they're really coming forward despite despite the cultural taboos and the hurdles that we see nowadays, it's really happening. And one thing that has changed, Shahzad, really the concept, the families are now coming together because they know that their woman, when she goes out, she's going to, hold the family together as well. She's going to prioritize the family as well. And this is what's most special about the women in Pakistan.
And then at the same time, I think the way you put it, it's fabulous and it's fantastic. But I believe that, for people who are out there, if the women are going out and making sure that they're going to earn bread for the household, I think it's really very important that we certainly do not start to think that, they're going to come back, they're going to hold the family together. Let them do what they're doing.
True.
And if there's one person who's not doing anything, sitting idle, I think it's their job to kind of look after the household as well. But since, as we promised that we're going to share an inspiring example with you, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by somebody. So I'm going to kind of introduce her, but she will let us know what she's doing as of now and how did she empower herself and how she's actually working day in and day out to make sure that the other women of Punjab are going to feel empowered as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky that we've been joined by Ms. Yamna Mir. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you over here. So please let our viewers know, what do you do, what position do you hold, and what are you doing for women empowerment?
I am Yamna Mir, Deputy Director in Social Welfare Department. Women Development and Welfare Center is my center where I am posting nowadays. This center is a women-centered project of Government of Punjab. We are having skill development, imparting skill professional development courses for women empowerment, and there are 5 to 6 courses which we are offering nowadays.
Wonderful.
It is situated or located in Rawalpindi, center of the Rawalpindi, behind Furniture Market.
Right.
And we are offering personal grooming courses, computer courses, cooking and baking. We have gym over there, so and art and craft, digital marketing course.
So kind of an umbrella where you're, giving
we are
these courses.
giving them the opportunity or platform to get training, and then.
So basically, it's more like that, God forbid if there's anybody who actually feels very helpless while sitting at home, ki yaar, I didn't go to school, I didn't do anything, I do not have a skill set, what should I do? I think this is a solution for them, that they really need to go to the Women
This is a
Development
good
Center.
opportunity for the women who are underprivileged or marginalized section of the society, and for me that institution is very important, as it is located in the hub of Rawalpindi.
Right.
And touching all the area of center of the Rawalpindi.
So basically, how do you see women? I mean, what kind of hurdles are they facing? Because we are talking about Pakistani women, right? That center is located right in the hub of Rawalpindi. You must have seen a lot of women. What are the major issues or hurdles that they face?
Because they might come up to you sometimes, be like, Yamna Baji, aapko kya bataye zindagi? And that's true, ladies and gentlemen. For a lot of people out there, life is really very difficult as well, and there's a lot of pain sharing, making sure that there's somebody who's actually going to listen to you too as well while you're depressed or while you're actually kind of struggling to kind of surf on this journey of life as well. So how
definitely,
is it?
I used to hear these type of stories, and being a sociologist, because I am doing my PhD also in sociology. So, and focusing women, my all research work is on women. So I used to hear all these types of, we are expert in case studies also. Being a social welfare domain of social welfare department is also women development. So you talk about that women are now in a good position or crossing those obstacles which we previously, when I joined government service in 2002, the position was not very good for women. That women were just 5% in labor force, and now they are 25%.
Wow.
So this is a success story.
And how was it for you? When you initiated your own journey, how was it for you? Did you face any challenges?
It was not an easy task. Let me explain that there are 3 stages or obstacles which every woman will have to pass through. First is the individual, which is related to family. You talked about the family. Definitely, if we will have a supportive family system, our father or even husband and even brothers, if they will support us, then we will come out of this taboo. Like when the girl came out and she used to teach or she used to learn some skills, then the next step is community. This is a meso level, right? The community where belief or cultural system normative structure is very strong. And if we are giving them an opportunity without judging them, you have talked about the stories. So if we are imparting them the training, even for me, if the community is not going to judge you, you can flourish very well.
Right. Exactly, and in addition to that, this is something which I have witnessed, and it might be a very generic statement, and it's because of the fact that I might only think like this. It's not really important that everybody thinks like this. What I have seen or what I have experienced in my journey of business and working and enterprising is that men a lot of times are looking for shortcuts. They're looking for that we do less and then earn more, and then go back home as well. And with women, as far as I have worked, they certainly are not looking for shortcuts. They're like, whatever job we are given, we need to give our 100% to it, whether overpaid or whether lesser paid as well. They're always happy with whatever they've committed to, and they will give 100%. And there's a research which says that women CEOs actually have been earning better than male CEOs as well. And they're good and better administrators as well. And I don't know, even with women, for example, because I've worked with the women boss as well, Ms. Shajit Sikandar, if you're out there, she was a wonderful soul, a wonderful being, and she would always be all ears. So I think that emotionally, men are very different and women are very different.
Biases are also less in a women boss, comparatively to male boss. And the third level, which I was talking about, is the societal, which we may say structural level or micro level. So this is the responsibility of state to provide you an opportunity or conducive environment, working environment. So currently in Pakistan, I think there is a good conducive environment for women, working women, and government is giving them opportunity to be a part of service structure or earn their livelihood.
Right.
So in our institution, we are started training courses, and now we are moving towards digital marketing and business development. We want to make them women entrepreneurs. So we are planning to give develop an incubation center from starting from the training, then business development, training them, giving them training to how to develop their business, and then we will train them how to use social media or digital marketing.
Right, right. Coming back to that point where you were saying, family support, Shahzad, I would like to highlight something.
Sure.
In our society, it's towards more darker side. That when they want someone who's doing job, who's pretty and who's good at working as well. So suppose if there's a doctor, she's going back to the hospital, she has a lot of stress, she's dealing with patients, she might be doing night shifts, but when she comes back, people expect gol roti. Would you believe that? That is happening in our society, and that is why it is so important for families, to... this doesn't happen everywhere, but I'm just talking about, very less percentage.
Thank you very much for saying that. This is the harsh reality, and imagine that, somebody went to a med school for 5 years to make sure that they will be able to treat patients with ailments or diseases or illnesses. And imagine, you come back home and, gol roti is being expected of you. I think that's just horrendous and horrible as well, and it kind of speaks volumes about the kind of upbringing those people had who actually kind of was looking forward to a gol roti, and that too from a doctor.
I may add something that when I have joined government sector in 2002, that was a different scenario.
True.
Right? Right now, the situation has changed.
Yes.
Yeah, the situation is changed.
Yeah.
Although it's a slow change, because this is a social change, intellectual and normative change, which will take time, decades. But there is a change.
Yeah.
And I saw many mediocre families who are supporting their girls, even husbands. My husband is very supportive, my father is very supportive, so that I am here discussing.
And in addition to that, I believe that these days kids are smarter as well. So if both of the, even if the husband or the wife, both of them are working, they would always make sure to take out a piece of their salary and make sure that they would hire somebody to cook for themselves as well. I think that's the best idea. You really need to look for a better solution. That's it. It can never be a dead end. That's something which everybody needs to kind of look forward to as well. But very quickly, now, Alhamdulillah, it's the 9th year that we've been doing this morning show, and I've always been in conversation. I've always been an advocate of women empowerment because, Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed with 5 sisters. All of them work. They have their own clinics. They would go for their jobs and do everything. Now, what I certainly want to know is that, when we talk about imparting vocational skill trainings to women, who unfortunately come from a very underprivileged backgrounds, I think after that, they're always looking for a good job. Or they're looking for an environment where they feel safe as well, or where their husband tells them, "Ha, ye jagah theek hai kaam karne ke liye." So how do you think your department is actually helping them to figure that out as well?
I already explained that we are giving them, providing them opportunity, linkages with market, business, industry. We have very interactive session, and we are going to have collaborations with the Rawalpindi Chamber of Commerce, even Islamabad Chamber of Commerce.
So you have loan programs as well?
Yeah, I have imparted training regard from First Women Bank and National Bank, that how they can get loans.
Lovely.
Or what type of loans that are very helpful for them with low interest. So I used to manage all, to bring all stakeholders to my institution, to deliver them the lectures, give them trainings, and impart, sensitize them how they can get benefit from them.
And why don't you very quickly towards the end kind of share a success story from where, there was this lady who came up and now alhamdulillah she's doing wonderfully well.
I would love to share my beautician teacher. She is a mother of 4 kids and a single parent. And
it's very hard for a single parent.
Usually women who are a breadwinner or who are trying to be a breadwinner, they have issues, family issues definitely. So she worked hard. She got training from our center. Then she is selected as a teacher for our institution, and she applied for Kamyab Jawan loan scheme. And she got 5 lakhs loan from First Women Bank, and now she is running her own beauty parlor successfully.
Wow.
We have a lot of success stories in our institution, because if we are training girls how to make mehendi, so on Chand Raat they earn a lot.
They earn a lot.
I mean, this Chand, I think only on mehendi, for my daughters and my wife, I did spend somewhat around 5,000 rupees. And it was just my family. So imagine my sister's families, my mother, everybody was there. And I think that the mehendi artist was really very happy about that as well. But thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation. But very quickly, for all those women who are out there, because I believe that it's your responsibility, people who are out there who are watching, and if you see that there's this lady who really needs help, and some sort of vocational training will actually help her find a new or pave a new career pathway for herself, I think you really need to kind of go and talk to her and tell her that there's this lady who's actually trying to help other women as well, and that too from Punjab government as well. So how can people get in touch with you, your department, so that they can kind of enroll for all of those courses which are available?
The name of my institution is Women Development and Welfare Center, and in a common layman language it is famous for as a Salai Markaz.
Salai Markaz. All right.
It is located behind Nas Cinema, Rido Eye Hospital, Furniture Market,
wonderful,
Rawalpindi. And we cater all women. We don't need qualified women. We can cater all women.
Lovely.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's the busiest area of Rawalpindi as well. My father's papa somewhere at some time back used to live somewhere around Nas Cinema, if I can recall that as well. But thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. It was wonderful to have you, Ms. Shamna Mir, and please make sure that you kind of continue to be a blessing for a lot of women out there as well. Inshallah.
Towards the end, Shahzad, I would also like to add something. Like you always say, it is so important for all of you out there to support the kids, especially girl kids in your family, build capacity, work on their confidence skills, educate them. It is so important. As Allama Iqbal in one of his verses says, "Isi ke saas se hai zindagi ka soze de rooh." So work for that. They are no less than boys.
Vasta rahe shajar se umeed bahar rakh. Yeah, sure.
We have a school also from 1 to 10, Park Active School, where we are we can educate their kids also free of cost.
Wow!
Right? That is very good
that
school, and they have a very good, excellent result, English medium school. And we are running with the help of our very energetic advisory
Which
committee.
makes me ask you as well.
As
so for all of those women who are actually coming out for those vocational
we have daycare center.
Do you have
also.
daycare? Yeah. Thank you very much. So we have daycare, we have
daycare center also,
and
we have gym, all well-being,
all in one.
things related to
all under one roof.
So
So it's a one-window solution. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you spread out this message, share it with people who are in need of it as well. Make sure, because it's going to be sadka jari even for you too. So to share some good information with somebody. I think everybody's kind of looking forward to it. Till the next time, look after yourselves, but please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter, it is
Well This Morning.
Yes, and on Dailymotion and YouTube, it is Well This Morning, and the fabulous repeat is going to be at 10:05 tonight. Till the next time, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.